Hey guys, what's up? I'm going to be showing you how to do some electrolysis at home. This is a relatively cheap and inexpensive way of doing it. First thing you're going to need is you're going to need a mason jar with a lid on it, so that way you can store this stuff long term, because you're going to want to get multiple uses out of this. You're going to want to probably do copper or nickel, which I'm going to be sticking with copper today. Here I have some copper foil, which I'm going to be using for my experiments. The other method you could use is coil up a piece of copper wire. I just coiled this up around a pen and then just basically broke the pen off of the copper. The other thing you're going to need is you're going to need some salt. This is for purely conductivity purposes. It doesn't really matter what type of salt you use, but there are some salts that will affect your experiments in a minuscule manner. The other thing you're going to need is you're going to need some white vinegar. This is only 5% vinegar, which is fine. But if you can get a hold of some higher percentage vinegar, that's actually great. You will be able to get more life out of your electrolyte. So the last thing you're probably going to need is a old phone charger. I have a old phone charger here that I spliced the cable with some alligator clips on the positive and negative terminals or wires. Basically, these are going to be what's going to make the reaction happen. Very important. Just an old phone charger, something that doesn't really pump out more than 1 amp. This one's kind of hard to see, but it pumps out 0.57. Let's get into it. So after you have everything hooked up, you have your solution poured in, you have your salt mixed into your vinegar, you got your electrodes in, hooked up to a power supply, you're going to notice some bubbling. This bubbling tells you what electrode is currently serving as the cathode. That is very important. The cathode is the negatively charged side, and basically whatever part you want to plate in the future, you're going to take out the cathode side and replace with the part that you want to electrolyze. So the solution has been sitting here for about an hour now, and as you can see, it's got a nice blue coloration to it. I'll reposition the camera so you guys can see it a little bit better. But it's really, really nice colored blue. As you use this, this will become darker and darker. So nice blue coloration means that this solution is ready to use. This is just a collection of some of the things I plated. This is copper plated. This is nickel plated right here. With the coins, I just basically did the opposite. So if they're nickel plated, such as like a quarter and a nickel, I plated them with copper. If they were copper plated, such as a penny, I plated it with nickel. Now, I'm still learning this myself, so obviously they're not perfect, but as you practice with this stuff, you will get better and better. You'll know roughly when to leave it in for. It's just like trying to bake a cake. You only got to leave it in there for a specific amount of time to get the best results. So, I mean, the applications are limitless because these are actually 3D printed parts that I spray painted with a conductive paint. And then that allowed me to plate them. They give them a much more metallic effect. So I definitely do recommend getting into this hobby, and it's relatively cheap, and it's just like throwing a cake in an oven. It's something that you can set and forget, for the most part anyway.